So before we get into the settings and the operation of the RGX gateway, we need to take a look at the external internal components. On the front cover, we have the push button, and it has a couple of functions. First, to power on and off the RGX gateway, but also to access the settings. There's also an LED ring around the button. It will indicate one of two colors, green or red. Each of those colors indicates a different status of the RGX, as well as whether it's solid or flashing. Below the button in the center of the cover, you'll see a series of icons and the different indications of the LEDs explaining what they mean. At the bottom, you'll see the RGX logo, and that's where the NFC or Near Field Communication antenna is located. If you have a Ventus Pro, for example, and need to set up a manual lens network, that's where you would place the Ventus Pro. Now, to access the interior, 4 T25 bits would come out and remove those screws. On the side of the RGX, we have a vent. On the rear of the RGX, we have 4 locations to either include brackets or these magnetic adapters that can allow this to be attached to a steel or an iron object. On the other side, we have the power connections and an LED indicating the status of the charge. The top connection for the power will require an adapter, but it will also use the same power supplies that can be used with the Radius, the extended run power supply and the intrinsically safe extended run power supply. Now, the charging port directly below it can be used to charge this. It takes approximately 8 hours to charge the battery to a full charge if it's completely dead, but it can also be used to charge and use the RGX at the same time. On the bottom of the RGX, we have 2 ports to allow hardwired connections. This is for power and also for the Ethernet connections. Now remember, this must be completed by a certified electrician. Let's take a look inside the RGX. To access the internal components of the RGX gateway, undo the 4 T25 screws on the front cover. They are not self-retaining screws. Once the last screw is removed, you can open the door and access the interior. Now, I've already powered down the RGX, so it's safe to work on inside. Open the door and you'll gain full access to the interior. Above the battery, you'll find the terminal block in green, along with the Ethernet connection directly beside it. Remember, the connectivity for the power must be completed by a certified electrician.